Hi, I'm Nicola, the Bonnie Gardener. Hi, I hope you're all well. Welcome to the last episode of Series 2 of The Bonnie Gardener. Today we're going to focus on some fantastic Christmas presents that you can buy for other gardeners that you know. But first, let's see what's going on in the garden. You may have noticed that the slope in the front garden is looking pretty terrible right now. That's because I've got plans next year to turn it into a wildflower slope. It's because really it's a bit of a pain in the bum to mow. So I want to turn it into somewhere that's really wildlife friendly and also low maintenance. I've started off by killing the slope with weed killer, something that I really hate using, but it's really important at this juncture that we kill all of the grass in order to establish the meadow properly. Once all the grass is dead, I'm going to scarify the slope using an electric scarifier to take out all the thatch and the dead grass. I'm then going to scatter seeds down, and hopefully by next summer it's going to start to become a wildflower meadow. This is going to evolve year after year. I'm really excited to see it come to fruition. Last year we planted daffodils under the ground and into the slope, and they came up really beautifully. It's a little bit of an experiment using the weed killer to see if those bulbs are still going to come up or if they've been nicely protected underground. I really hope they'll still come again. This is just one of the many reasons why you should avoid using chemicals and weed killers in the garden where at all possible. It's nearly December, but there are still things miraculously flowering in the garden. The dahlias are still going because we've not had any bad frosts, and my chrysanthemums are just about to pop out. Over the past few weeks, Doc, our new dog, has been spending quite a lot of time in the front garden and doing some exploration there. We got to the bottom of why he'd been doing that last week when he escaped into the next door neighbour's garden under the fence. So I've been taking some time over the past few days to take chicken wire and just barrier off that area. Much to Doc's displeasure, he's been on the lead over the past week in the garden. One of the things I've been trying to do in the garden, especially over the past few months, is create lots of winter interest. So there's many ways that you can do this using plants. Cornice or dogwoods provide lots of beautiful, colourful stems all the way through the winter. The grasses also still create movement and flow even in the winter time. And things like hellebores are popping up and creating flowers all through December, January, February. We've also been experimenting a little bit with lighting in the garden. So we've been using solar panel lighting options, and they've had a sort of mixed review, I suppose. So one problem that we've run into is water getting into the lights, and another one is just the fact that we get so little sunshine at this time of year, even though we've got a south-facing garden, that the lights will only last about 30 minutes after it's dark, and then they'll just go dark themselves. So a little bit of hit and miss. And this last video I want to share with you is one of Glasgow's favourite local gardens, Pollock Park. that even though I was born and bred in Glasgow, I didn't visit Pollok Park for the first time until about 5 years ago. But if there's one thing that this year has taught us more than anything, it's to really treasure those things that are local to us. This year is certainly going to be a Christmas like no other. So while we won't be able to see a lot of our family and friends, there's no reason why we can't still send presents. So here's a few ideas for gardening friends and actually anybody who enjoys a bit of outdoor time. There are lots of gardening books on the market, but this is the one that really inspired me this year. Beth Chateau is famous for her term, right plant, right place, and that's something that every single gardener can take away. A magazine subscription is something that everybody will thank you for. So Gardener's World is a magazine that's more suited for amateur gardeners, whereas The English Garden is something that focuses a little bit more on planting, so unusual plants and planting design. If you know somebody with a bare patch of earth that needs transformed into a flower haven, then why not buy them some wildflower seeds? I use a company called Landlife Flowers and their seeds are just fantastic. This is something that's a bit more unusual and you might not recognise it, but it's a bat box. So the winter months are a really important time to provide shelter for all of our wildlife. Whether it's a bat box or a bird box or a wildlife box, it's up to you. Gardeners will always thank you for new tools. So something like a pair of secateurs is a really great investment. I use Felcos, which are just fantastic. The only thing that is maybe shortened their life is leaving them in people's gardens. If you're looking for unusual Christmas cards, then I recommend Etsy. This is the favourite one that I got last year. My last suggestion is a bulb planter. All you need to do is get a nice pot, fill it with soil, plant bulbs at an appropriate depth, and then give it to a person that you really adore at Christmas. So what you're going to do is you're going to give them a pot that's going to come up full of lovely spring bulbs come the springtime. Before we sign off for the year, we wanted to share a few videos from the Bonnie Gardener household. In this first one, can you spot Charlie? These videos couldn't be put together without our team of editors. My husband, who makes all these videos, didn't believe how hard being in front of the camera was until he tried it himself.
Okay, that's the electric trimmer and oh no, actually
They're both battery.
they're both batteries. There you go. See how hard it is to remember your lines? Okay, that was two trimmers.
No.
Trimmers. Edge trimmers.
And finally, we would just like to wish you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and we will hopefully see you again in the spring.
Bye.